Okay, so Doris and Bright, I want to make sure it's very, very clear that there's no reason to be communicating or being here if you're not going to take responsibility for recruitment. Did I make that very, very clear? Because I just talked about how when people don't take responsibility recruitment, we don't treat people like human beings, then 90% of all our new recruits fall through, and then the organization fails, and we all don't get paid, right? So
Yeah, I understand.
So it's
Yeah.
very important for you guys to understand the recruitment round work organizing spreadsheet. So the first thing I would note is that this particular recruitment work organizing spreadsheet is not organized and doesn't have priorities. So there should be a tab for priorities, right? We should have links to previous recruitment rounds, and we should have a lot more information, including all the lists of all the recruits and everything. So I'm not sure why there's no information here. This almost doesn't look like it's correct, but at least it's organized. So it says it doesn't have a date or anything either. So I'm really confused on this. I'm gonna make this entire thing orange because it's not organized and doesn't make any sense. And then also from here you could go into the trainings and things like that.
No.
All right. So anyway, but you look at that, see if we can find other recruitment, and then also the recruitment verification is super important. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, this looks, well, it's not really verification though. No, this is not verification. I don't see any verification here. Oh, here, no, that's just a template. But this does have the criteria for the POPP. So that's good that we have the POPP criteria. So we made some progress there, and we could actually put that in the recruitment round spreadsheet as well. So I think that other spreadsheet is actually a recruitment round spreadsheet. So let's see the POPP. So this is the first half 25-5 recruitment work organizing spreadsheet. So this is a previous work recruitment spreadsheet that's a little bit more organized, so it's clear kind of what a recruitment round spreadsheet usually looks like. And this is nothing, right? So on line 5, you actually have 2 work organizing spreadsheets. You have the work organizing spreadsheet. I would call this the current work organizing spreadsheet, and this is like a past work organizing spreadsheet. And then there should be like an umbrella one where we list all past work organizing spreadsheets. So I'm not sure where that is, but we want to make sure everything is organized and whoever is responsible for recruitment has access to all the information and documents for what we've had in the past. So can someone do that and kind of review that and talk through it?
Review all past work organizing spreadsheet on recruitment.
Is that a question?
So you said somebody should do what? Come again, please.
To try to get all of the recruitment or work organizing organized, right?
Okay.
Because it's not particularly organized. There's not even a priority list, right? Like no one's really prioritizing recruitment if there's no priority list. And one of our priorities you can add is creating the public and private folders. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm creating the public and private folders for Doris and Bright. Okay. So in your the chat window on Jitsi, I need you to include your email so that we can.
Email address.
Yeah, so if I could just get your email address, that would be extremely helpful. And ideally using a public email address or something that you don't need like super duper private, but either way, it's like you shouldn't worry about it too much because it's just an email address. But sometimes our email addresses get shared, so I can not share my screen here while I open the email list, right? All right, so let's see here.
I think for the past recruitment work organizing spreadsheet that we have the recruitment round of 9 half year. We have 157 and mini round recruitment spreadsheet here. That's the task that we have for now.
Yes. So was that a question or anything, or just a comment?
No, it was just a comment. I was just letting you know. We only have like 3 here that I can
Yeah.
get my
All right.
hands on.
Well, hopefully over time we'll get more organized with all our recruitment. But again, it's a slow process getting organized. We just have to be patient and try to get everything organized one step at a time. And then the other thing that I put in the list of priorities that we're considering is also discussing utilizing AI, a UI agent with the recruitment process. So once we have, a universal intelligence agent that can help with recruitment, it could organize all this information with us. Our whole model for AI is humans working side by side with um, programmed, customized digital beings, like digital conscious beings, right? Agents that work together side by side.
Yep.
So it's not really like, it's not like I think we actually we'll hire more people as we implement AI, as opposed to the other way around. That most businesses would fire people. As we get more functional, we'll actually hire more people to work with more AI agents instead of the other way around. So, in the context of your your folders, I already made those. Now I just need to send you the link, and these are your private folders, right? So you're gonna have a private folder and a public folder. So this is the link to the public folder. Where's the private folder? Private folder. And
For
overall,
the
you can see kind of what um, Martins was referring to before about how what we're doing right now is actually against policies. I'm going to do more policy training because we are doing work during a session. We were not prepared and organized for the session and all of the recruitment. So we're actually breaking policy because we weren't organized. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm gonna do another like I don't know half hour of like policy changes or not doing work during the main session, right? But it's better to break policy and move this forward because I can't think of anything more important than supporting Bright and Doris to get you guys all up and running and functional and getting you guys paid, right? So let's send.
Please check line J. You need to check line 9 for POPP verification spreadsheet. Their POPP is there. That's the purpose of this
Okay, are
topic.
you doing the POPP verification based on the criteria?
Yes,
All right, how's that going?
it's going fine for Bright. It's okay. I just finished checking for Bright. I'm moving to Doris.
So on line 51 to 53, I have the private folders. Did you guys have your main sheet yet? Or I guess you don't create the main sheet until, no, you have your POPP. Yeah, so for now, just use your POPP. So you can copy and paste your private Pinda folder onto your POPP. Does that make sense?
Doris and Bright is talking to you. Jay is talking to you.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking he was talking to Martins.
So he's talking to
Yeah,
you.
so for now, while you guys are still going through the recruitment process, we want you, and you'll know when you're actually done with recruitment because you'll be joining the team,
Okay.
right? So joining the
Okay.
team is stage 6, I believe. So right now
Yes.
we're just trying to finalize the budget and get you guys in the budget and then get you all organized, which should be able to get done at the end of this session. So I have your private folders, and now I'm going to create your public folders.
Okay.
And then we want to get your POPs verified. So we should have everything we need to do to get your POPs verified.
Okay.
Okay.
So how's that going?
I'm almost done for them.
For what?
For POPP verification for Dory.
Okay, well, don't do them. Focus on one at a time, and then make sure we go through it together. Like, this is probably the 10th or 20th time we're talking about POPs in the last 6 to 8 months, and we still have never verified a single POP with you. So this will be the very first time. So there's no reason to rush or hurry it. Let's just do it correctly instead, okay?
Okay, yeah. No problem then. Once we're done, we can do it. Mhm. When you are set, we can go through it together.
Okay, so I finished creating the public folders, and I'm just getting them all linked. Oh, shit. Ugh, damn it. Never mind. I did not do it. Give me another minute here. I made no private. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, no. Fuck.
And it's the 4 o'clock. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Did we miss a break?
Yes.
That would be more policy training.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So nice. I have the public folders made. Now I just need to share them. So let's start with Doris. Perfect. Okay. So there's Doris. Okay, so 99% of all of your documents are going to go into your public folder.
Okay.
But when you're going through the recruitment process, there's a lot of legal stuff that you do. So all of that goes in your private folder. So when you go through the recruitment process to the legal responsibility, you're going to be using the private folder for a lot of information that you need to transfer and give. So it's just good to have both of them right from the very beginning before you even join the team. And then you can already be working on everything and having your public folder ready to go. So let's make sure Okay, so now I'm done finally with the public folders and have that all done on the back end. So now we can, you said you had something ready to review?
Yep. You
So
might
what is it?
you might have to share your screen with us, Jay. So
Yeah, I mean, I can share my screen. I don't know how it's gonna help, but what exactly are we reviewing? What are we looking at?
we are reviewing the POPs for workers and even the recruits too.
Okay, so I'm here. I'm ready. Which line?
Line 9. It's there.
Line 9. So this is the POP verification spreadsheet.
Yes.
It says new team POP. Yeah, this should be the new fork, right? New fork after new fork POP, or what?
Yes.
Or this is the new team. I'm confused.
You know that was the name we gave for Joshua and Stephanie, then Brian to be in
Okay,
their
but this
new.
was for the new team, right? So this wasn't for the new fork.
Please stop.
So we need a new fork POP.
Count 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5.
I'll get it
Open
now.
your eyes.
And so it's going to be like FQN new fork team POP, right? So you can duplicate this one and delete everybody who's not on the new fork, right?
Okay.
All right. So, but either way, we can still use this for now, but we just want to get things organized. So let's start with Bright or Doris.
Yeah. Are we starting with okay? Start with Brian. So we're starting with Brian.
All right. So we have, wait, we're starting with Bright.
Yep.
So the first thing we have verified is that it does say co-op 2.0. So that's verified. So do we have a verification spreadsheet? Do we want to do the verification, or do we want to try somewhere else?
Yeah. There is a tab that says POP verification templates. It's there.
I don't see POP verification.
No,
Anyways, we
go
can
back.
just do the POP criteria right here, you know. So this will be POP criteria and verification line 19, right?
Yeah.
And we have Bright and Doris. So we can just go through and verify it. So we'll start with no. So verification spreadsheets always start red, no. And then you go through each line and then you verify it to yes. So right now we're doing Bright, right?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Bright. Yes.
Okay, so it says clearly that it is
Clear. Everyone is agreeing to fixed rate contract.
yeah, so let's just say fixed rate contract co-op 2.0, yes. Okay, so that is clear. It can also be or it's co-op 1.0, right? Or co-op 1.0, right? So if they want to do co-op 1.0, you still can. It's just that we're required that on the POP to know if someone's in co-op 2.0 or co-op 1.0. So co-op 1.0 is much more flexible, where people can basically do whatever they want and get paid whatever they want. Co-op 2.0 is like much more strict in terms of the actual deliverables that you have to actually complete to get paid. So new fork versus old fork. So that needs to be on the POP as well.
Please
And I
stop
guess
it.
the specifics are
1, 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
so there's the FQN new fork or the SFC old fork, and the Unity, obviously Unity there's no payment, right? So Unity has no pay. Upfront pay, it's just tokens, right? So My understanding is that it still is not clear.
DWC is on FQ and for, so the team it belongs to DWC line.
Within the new fork. So you're saying you're creating a DWC team within the new fork.
Yes, line
Or you
24.
can just call it the new fork team. Either way, it's fine. But the point is that, oh, here goes new fork model. All right, so let's make this bright and green. So I think this should go at the top, like all the way up near Co-op 2.0, because it's basically, you know, like that. So it would be like FQN new fork model.
Okay.
All right, so that is clear. Excellent. So now we have, so that's a yes. So this is not a criteria point, it's just explaining what a fixed rate contract is. So that can be deleted because that's not applicable. Set up clear pay goals so you know what they're working towards and our ownership. We know what the clear pay goals are. Oh yeah, that's what this is. That's just the list. Okay, so then we just delete these two lines here. All right, so now what we're doing here is setting up the clear pay goals. So the first thing is that the pay goal is getting, for Doris, is $600 a month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's 30, 100% pay rate. So then hourly is $5 an hour at full time, right? So both of these are full time, monthly, full time, hourly. So then you have 90% training goal is $4.50. You guys understand the training pay rate?
Jay is talking to you.
Doris and Bright, do you understand the difference between the training and the normal pay rate?
Yeah.
Can you explain it?
Can we explain the normal training and
Yeah, the difference between the training rate and normal training rate.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Martins, please can you go back to the other folder?
The other folder, I'm not sharing my screen.
Oh.
Not the one. OBJ.
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
You
Yeah.
asked that. Did she understand the difference between normal
The normal
training rate?
training rates.
I mean training rate, normal rate and training rate. I was trying to ask her if she does.
Yeah, just explain it. You said that you do, right, Doris?
The normal training rates, which is $4.5.
Yes, but do you understand what the difference is? Do you know how to get to your 100% pay rate?
Martin's already talked about it, but I don't have a full understanding on it yet.
Okay, so then the correct answer would be no, I don't know. So we should just explain it to you again. And the same for you, right, Bright? Or Doris?
Yes, yes.
You don't understand?
Yes.
So it's pretty simple. Basically, you're currently in stage 4, just finalizing your POPP and your budget. And we're about to finalize that hopefully today. Then you go on to stage 5. You do the recruitment responsibility for the legal responsibility to get all the contracts and everything agreed and make sure you understand what you're agreeing to and answering any questions or going through. That's part of your training. And then once you complete that training, that's like, we would call that the initial sort of pre-training. And then if you still didn't want to work for us, you don't have to. But it's important that you understand all the policies and that you have a right to change any policies and you are a full member and you can vote on everything, right? So then if you agree to everything and you want to join the team, then you start joining the team in stage 6. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So stage 6 is all of your overall training and your leadership training, your methodology training, and like the overall training. You'll be doing work training, but you're already starting work training. You're learning how to do recruitment right now, right? So that's part of the work training. So in the context of the stage 6 recruitment, once you complete the stage 6 recruitment, you go from the,
Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
all right, quick stretch.
Yeah.
We missed it, so the stretch is. All right, so as I was saying,
You're talking about stage 6?
yeah, so once you complete stage 6, right, this would be stage 6. So for all of stage 6, you get paid $4.50 an hour, and then normal 100% rate is stage 7.
Stage 7.
So once you complete stage 6, your pay goes up from $4.50 to $5 an hour.
Okay.
And we're actually having a discussion for stage to be as low as like 30%. So right now it's a 10% difference, and it doesn't seem to be enough for anyone to take it seriously. So we actually have a proposal and a serious discussion to take our training pay rate and reducing it from 90% down to like 75% or even more. Some people have even discussed 50%. That basically, if people are not willing to do the training, then they should get a much lower amount of money, because no one seems to care right now. At the 10% reduction, people just never do the training, right? So just so you know, there is a discussion to lower it much more than the 450, so that people take it more seriously. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. But that's a separate proposal. For now, this is the policy, which we have consensus on. Everyone consented on this. All right, so any questions on that? So next we're ready for the time budget. So the time budget is basically saying, okay, well, we only have in the budget to pay you 10 hours a week as opposed to full time. And usually people start a lot less hours than they would actually work up to as they get more skills. So that for you is $150 a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just to reiterate on what you just said, you're gonna be paying just 10 hours per week. So that means because we imputed 30 hours per week, and that's like 6 hours per day. So that means we won't be working 6 hours per day. Is that what you mean?
No, you're in the budget for $600 for 30 hours a week as like your primary overall budget. But we're not paying you that amount of money because you're not doing $600 of value. And there's no way you're going to do $600 of value in your first day. And we can't, if we paid that, we would lose tens of thousands of dollars per month and all go out of business and not pay anyone.
Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So your actual pay rate is $4.50 per hour based on your training to do the training. And then in the actual budget, when we do the budget, your budget is probably going to end up being like, usually people start at about 5 to 10 hours a week. Like if you want to work 30 hours a week, you can track all those hours and you can do the client work and you can actually accomplish all the work $600. And in fact, you can get paid double that, if not more, if you do the bonuses. So it's perfectly possible to make the $600 your first month. It's just highly unlikely because no one ever does it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make $600 under our budget and our approval process, we're agreeing to it, but there's two major problems. One, no one ever does it. And two, we don't have an agreement on the budget yet. So we still need to get agreement on the overall budget to have you in the budget for $600. So we'll discuss that. But the point is that the easier thing to do is just focus on the bonuses for the actual client work and the deliverables. Okay. So So we'll discuss that afterwards, but let's just make sure your POPP is verified. So in the budget, typically we would start people like $150 a month in the budget for their time budget for the amount of time that we expect. So another example for that is that, okay, you're approved to work $600 if you do the work. You can make up to $600 if you do the value, but we're not going to fire people and take your word on it. Instead, we can hire 4 people at $150 an hour. So if we had 4 times 150, that would be $600, right? So instead of firing 3 people and hiring you and taking your work, we hire 4 people at $150, and then our experience is that either those 4 people together will make $600 total, or one person will actually work and the other 3 just do nothing, right? In our experience, everyone says they're going to work 30 hours a week and they never do. And in fact, usually you hire 3, 4, 5 people, and at least like more than the majority of them do nothing. And so in our model, the time budget ensures that we're not firing a bunch of people who actually want to do work, right? And so instead we hire more people with the idea that the time that people actually put is going to be a lot less than what they say they're going to do. Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So over time, if you work more and more hours, we can bump up your time budget to 30 hours a week if you actually prove that you are actually working those hours.
Please and get ready.
Okay.
Now inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax.
So the difference of the overall budget at $600 and the difference of the time budget is that the time budget, that's like the actual budget, and we fire people because of it, right? So if you're approved for $450, then we have to fire someone else if that's over budget. So if we approve you in the time budget for $30 an hour, we have to fire three other people because you actually have to be working those hours. Okay.
Okay.
So so I think the time budget is clear. Any other questions on the time budget?
Not from me.
No.
Cool. So then the last part is the expectations budget. So this one is typically 20. It starts at 25%, right? And this is because of people not being trained. So this would be 25% of the 150. So that was actually incorrect, which is $38. Let's say $40 would be the expected pay for the first month. So this is actually correct, and we can make that either yellow or green or blue or whatever. But if we bring this into our notes here, the most important understanding of the expectations is the $38 for the first month, right? And then the second month, maybe you'll make $100. And the third month, maybe you'll make $250. And the fourth month, maybe you'll make $600. I don't know. It all just depends on how much work you do in the deliverables, right? Because we're all on a fixed rate contract, and it's based on doing the actual client work income for revenue and payroll. So without any client work, there's no money. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yes, yes.
So the hard part about this organization is that we're a social organization. We have money to give for free. So we've done that before, and it destroyed us over and over again by giving away money for free. So we can't do that anymore. So what we need to do is we need to get work completed. But the problem is that because if you don't know how to do the work and you can't complete the work, then we pay you. So you have to learn how to do the work, and we don't pay for training, right? So that is the primary problem, is that we can't pay you to do training. So that means if we train someone for 100 hours and they just quit and leave and don't do any work, then we just lose all that money, which we've done over and over and over, where we train people for hundreds of hours and they just leave and they don't do any work. And then they just take hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, and do no work. We just can't do that anymore. So we can only pay you for completing.
Stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So the faster we can get focused on the training of the work training, the better for you. And that's also why people kind of don't prioritize their stage 6 training, because it's not work training, right? They want to learn how to do the work and get more pay, right? So you do get bonuses for completing the stage 6, but then you don't necessarily learn more work, right? So you still get paid to do the training for stage 6, but it's still different. But you don't get paid for work training.
So we get paid for the training, but we don't get paid for the work training.
You get paid for the stage 6 training is a bonus to complete the stage 6 training. Yeah. But when you do work training, like right now, we're training you on how to do recruitment.
Yeah.
Right? But you're doing nothing. You're just watching us do something. So you don't get paid to sit there and do nothing. You get paid to actually do the work after we train you, right? So in the context for the expectation is just very, very low because you need to learn how to do the work. And unfortunately, we can't pay people for training anymore. We used to, but we can't do it anymore. So it really sucks. I don't like not paying people for training, but it's just like we've gone bankrupt 3 times now. Just because people just disappear, they don't do the work, and they don't care. So it's like we can't do it. So any other questions on the expectations?
None for me.
None for me.
This US dollar equivalent is already above, so we can delete that. This is above, we can delete that. Your team also should really be above, but we can leave that. And the estimated hours is sort of irrelevant, but we can leave that in there as well. Payment method is Upwork. And then you just need to do your time tracking for all of your hours you want to put in your POPP at the beginning. And then you also want to add the links to your folder, right? So those are the 2 tasks for you is link to folders added to your POPP. And you want to track all your hours in your POPP. You can just estimate your hours. It doesn't have to be specific, because we pay based on deliverables currently, right? And then we're going to focus on the deliverables budget, and the deliverable budget is that you're approved to work for $4.50 an hour for the deliverables bonuses budget, which is a fixed contract pay per deliverable completed. So let's say you have $4 for a client work income deliverable.
Time to take a break.
$4.
Write down whatever you're about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
So that total, if you did internal operations for, like, let's say recruitment, and you did the client work, that would be a total of $8 for the money bringing in. And client work is always pink, and then the internal operations is always green. Okay, so I think we're done with, right? Do you have any questions about it?
No.
Do you agree on all of it? Are you in agreement? Do we have understanding? Should we vote on it? Like, we're supposed to vote on it, but we can do that if we want to.
I agree.
Cool. So this is like proposal to add the deliverables budget and verify POPP, right? So this would be your proposal, and then these would just be all the details. So the only thing I think you guys don't really understand yet, because a lot of people don't understand it, even after working here for a long time, is the difference between the internal operations and the client work.
Okay.
So internal operations means that you're working inside the organization, like you're going to, you're planning, you're coordinating, you're making assignments, but we're not doing any work. We're just it's just communicating internal to the organization. We're all owners of the POPP, and we need to talk and communicate to actually know what we're doing, right? Client work income, and that includes our budget, like how much we're going to pay ourselves, how much we're going to do the payroll, like getting ourselves paid. The payroll and the budget would be all internal work. It doesn't do anything for the clients. Does that make sense? It's just paying ourselves. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we had a huge falling out and even legal action related to people wanting to get paid thousands of dollars a month to come to sessions argue, get agreement on a budget, get reimbursements, run the payroll, argue a bunch more, and then repeat. And they did no client work, and they felt they should get thousands and thousands of dollars to simply approve a budget and then run payroll and get paid thousands and thousands of dollars. And basically the entire organization fell apart because of that. So we no longer can pay a single dime for budget and payroll unless we do client work. So the only way to get paid for any internal operations in any work at all is to have to bring in money into the co-op. So for example, I explained how you have USA Inc., which is an external client, sends money to Activity, which would be an internal client, and Activity contracts with the co-op, and then the co-op gets money for payroll. So the client is Activity, and we only get paid if we work and do the client work for Activity to bring the money in, because it's not our money until we actually do the client work. Does that make sense? Otherwise, it's stealing.
Yeah.
You guys understand or not?
Yes. Yes.
Kind of.
We understand.
It's a little confusing. I know it's a little confusing, but the bottom line is that with zero client work and no income for the co-op, there's no money to pay anybody.
I
Right?
explained that to them.
Your bank account, if you don't get money in your bank, you can't buy food. Right? You have to have money in your bank account before you can spend it. That make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So we collectively own the co-op, but our bank account has like $200 in it, maybe $100, right? So as a co-op, as an organization, we only have $100. So we work for the clients, we bring the money into the co-op so that we can pay our payroll. If we don't do the work for the clients, it doesn't matter how much internal operations work and how many meetings we go to and how much we argue or how much anything happens. There's simply just no money in the bank account to payroll. There's no money, right? Everything starts with the client work. Okay.
Yeah.
And if every time you bring in a client work deliverable, we also put aside money for internal operations. And then you can get paid for internal operations. You can only get paid for internal operations if we have money for internal operations, which means we did client work to bring in the money for the internal operations. Okay? So you can get paid for everything, including coming to meetings, as long as we do the work for the client. All right, so let's finalize this. I think everything is completed for Bright. So last chance for questions on Bright, and then we can do.
No question for Bright. No concern. Can we vote or we bring the receipt?
Yeah, we can on it.
Yeah. So.
So the proposal is to add Bright to the deliverables budget, the deliverables bonus budget, and to verify the POPP, right? And so the deliverables bonus budget is really, none of this is really applicable. So we probably should just make sure everything is clear when we're voting on it. So I would delete all of this.
And the break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
We need the break. Not for the training.
So I guess the only other detail I will put in here is that there's no maximum amount of deliverable bonuses you can make, right? And this does not include the business base budget, which would be a maximum of $600 per month, which would be $600 per month, plus 600 additional. Okay. So when we talk about the deliverables bonus budget, we are not approving you to get your $600 per month pay, because that's part of the business base budget. We're approving you that every deliverable you get paid. So every time you take on a deliverable, you need to know the exact value of that deliverable. So we can also put here that it's very clear that, you know, very important to verify each deliverable and the value of every deliverable before starting work. Okay?
Yes.
And we can review the deliverables budget as a whole and approve the entire deliverables budget and understand every single thing. And we can also link the draft deliverables budget. Do you have? Should I get that? Might as well, right? You guys want that?
I can get it.
I'm gonna look for it too.
I have it here. So you can check line 1, the link is there, 1 note 4.
Yeah, this is it. So this has a list of all the deliverables. And so the total client deliverables for the month is about $600 on this particular list. And then we have, and then it'll be double that for all the internal operations, which is another $1,000.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So currently the deliverables budget is, needs to be updated, but it is still plenty of money to be able to cover these budgets and these expected ads. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And right now, the base value for all of our deliverables is $4, and I can explain how that. Actually, the base value is $2. Right, the base value is $2, so you get $2 if you complete the work on time. But that's very rare. Like there's lots and lots of priority. So anything that's like an actual priority is typically a minimum of $4. $2 or there's something that's like very little priority, we're not really trying to do. And that's the minimum because it's $1 if you get it done by the deadline and $1 if you get it done after the deadline. And that's the minimum pay for anything, and that's us losing money. For the $4, that means it's a priority, and then everything goes up from there. Like it's multiplied by 3. If it's 100% pay stop, that's $12, and then it's doubled into the base budget, and then it gets quadrupled into the executive budget and all the other values. So even though it looks really low, it's actually a ton of money, and we've actually been practicing this for a few months. And it's very easy to make hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing a bunch of small tasks. And so we recreated this entire model to be lots of like really small tasks that completed, and so you can get small payments here and there off month. So it's but it is good to always ask how long is this going to take, because some things take 20 minutes, other things take 20 hours. So the amount of value within each task is not based on the amount of time it takes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's all based on how much. And so we can go through client work coordination, but the bottom line is that we have about 5 assignments that we have lots and lots of money for once we create the contracts, and you want to focus on where the money is, because we have 100 projects that have zero money at all, and so if you want to work on them, you get nothing, right? But we have plenty of projects that we have tons of money for if someone just does the work. So if you want to make money and that's your goal, you just want to find out what is the actual client work that has the money in the budget that I can get paid for, and then focus on that. Because if you just randomly work on things, you don't get paid. You have to work on what you're actually assigned to do that actually has money to support that work, right?
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
All right, so I think I did all of my side. Let's answer questions.
Any question? Any question?
Not for now.
So my question is
Was logged
the
out. My network kicked me out.
for the base value you mentioned, you said $2 for minimum priority. That for new recruit or same as old worker?
The minimum value for any deliverable, even if we have no money for it in relationship to a client work assignment, is $1. Right? So even if we only have losing 99 cents on every dollar we spend, we still pay $1. That's our policy. So as long as we do, as you do client work, you're guaranteed getting paid $1 to work on work, even if you get after the deadline, right? But if you do it before the deadline, you're guaranteed $2. And if there's no deadline, you're required to make a deadline, right? You just make a deadline, say, oh, I'll complete this by the end of the month. And if I complete it by the end of the month, you get paid $2, right? So does that make sense, Martins? Like you can work on anything and you automatically get $1. But then when we prioritize things, once something reaches a priority level, it's doubled and it goes to $4. And then if it's a higher priority, it goes to $6 and it gets doubled again and goes up to 8, 9, whatever, however level the priority level is. And you can see all the priority levels in the budget, right? So if you go to the budget, I don't know if you can see my screen here, but you go to the budget, you can see what the highest priority level is, the asset portfolio redistribution, which is worth $12. We need to do asset redistribution like 10 times. So it's like $120 of value, but we have here that maybe per month or quarter, we might do 3 of them, but it's 10 to do. So if we did all of them, you get $120, but most likely it's not going to happen, right? To do all of them all at once, but it could if we actually did the work. So this is the most valuable individual assignment, but it's not necessarily the most valuable work. So if you look at the work, this needs to be done 10 times a month. And this is setting the client potential income budget and updating it. So updating this budget right here, we need to do for every category. And for every single one you do, you get paid $6. And there's probably like 10 or more of them. And so that's $6 of value, just simply spending a couple minutes or half an hour updating
Time
each of
to
these
pause.
areas, like the
Please stop.
taxes,
Close your eyes.
right? So every area, and you can organize this by area.
5. Open your eyes.
So these are all the bills. So we have to update and organize the bills. These are the Co-op 2 ones. This is the executive support ones, right? So these are all the different assignments categories, and each category gets updated and is worth $6 per category. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So anyways, when you're taking on client deliverables, you want to know what the value is of the deliverable, but let's just make it really simple for you. There's only one deliverable that's really valuable, and that is the new contract right here. So you get paid $4 per new contract and scope updating. This is where all the money is. So it's $4 per client scope contract. And we have, let's say, 5 to 10 that need to be updated. So right now, we have, $4 per priority deliverable. But once we get a new contract, if we can bring $3,000 in for that contract, and eventually we can bring even more, and those are just for the internal contracts, right? Then we could have, let's say we had 100 deliverables. Under our calculations, it would be 100 deliverables divided by $3,000, which instead of $4, you're making $30 per deliverable, right? So, and that would be like the max. Obviously, if it only takes you an hour, you're going to get $4.50, right? So we're not going to pay people $30 to spend 5 minutes on something, but it makes it so that you have plenty of money to do all these deliverables and get paid way more money than $4 an hour because we have $3,000 available. But that will happen once these new contracts get set up. So we've been asking people and paying tens of thousands of dollars for over a year and a half to get these new contracts agreed upon, and no one has done it. It's been a year and a half that we've been asking month after month after month to someone to take the new contract seriously, and no one does. So we have no money to pay anybody. So Martine's just starting to take these contracts seriously. We had one session on it in the last couple months. And I think before that, maybe there was 1 or 2 sessions before that. So once we get these new contracts set up and we're actually working with an AI agent to automate it, then it will be very easy and we can update all the contracts and we'll have much more money available to the co-op. Right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers all those
Please
questions.
stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Stretch. So I know it's a lot of information, but we've been trying to get this all done for a year and a half, and it needs to happen. If we can't do it, we just can't pay anybody, and there's no money, right? So if there's no client contract, we should expect no money. But even without a new client contract, we can still pay $4 per deliverable because we have enough money within the existing. It's a very small amount of money, but we do have enough money. The other place where we have a lot of money is we have about $10,000. There's about $10,000 in the non-profit. It's probably less than 10,000 by now because it goes down pretty quick. So maybe it's like $9,000 in the non-profit. So it's illegal for us to pay non-profit money to do work for something that's not the non-profit. So even though we have $9,000 sitting there, we can't pay you that money unless you actually work on the nonprofit to do the work that's assigned, because it's illegal for us to spend that money on something that is to benefit a for-profit company or something that's not nonprofit. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so if you want to get access to that money, there's tons of money there to do all the work for the nonprofit, but no one does the work. So if you want to do the work, we can pay you more money for that. I think there is an example of that in our taxes here. So nonprofit taxes, oh, no, it's not here. So all the taxes are the same. So see where it says nonprofit taxes? We haven't updated this yet. But under our model, we should be able to pay double, if not triple, for nonprofit taxes because there's a lot more money in the nonprofit to pay. Whereas the for-profit taxes, we just don't have any money. So you can see here, actually it is. Nonprofit taxes are $6 per deliverable. For-profit taxes are $2 per deliverable. So nonprofit taxes are worth 3 times more than for-profit taxes because the for-profit is broke. All right, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have all this money in nonprofit taxes. So we need to do all the taxes. Look, there's money in the trust as well. So so it's easier to pay out of the trust for the taxes. So, but the for-profit taxes, we still have to do the for-profit taxes. There's just a lot less in them. And just so you know, the for-profit, the taxes are due on September 8th, which is coming up in a little bit. And this is a major 100% pay stop deadline. All right. So any other questions?
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Was that no?
No question from us.
All right.
No
Concerns.
question? No concern.
Are there any concerns?
None
No
from me.
No from me.
None from me.
Cool. All right. So let's get agreement on that. And then we can go to Doris.
Okay.
So Doris, you're also in FQN new. Wait, I almost did it. So someone else should do Doris so you can practice. Anyone can do Doris except for Doris. So it needs to be Bright or Martins.
Of course you can do it. Yeah, let's move.
Also, we need to make sure it's clear that these equity values are not money, right? These are US dollar equivalent.
Yes, like I told you earlier on during the written interview, I said this figure that we are seeing, equivalent USD, is gotten from livingcost.com. It has to do with global jurisdiction value for individual, per individual, and for family. And I said it is four, you get the value, which is on column B, line 12, times 4. So the total value gives us 286 dollars. I mean,
We can actually calculate this exactly. It's every month times 4 years, so it's 12 months times 4 years times
12.
200,000. Yes, that's correct. So this would be 500. Whoops. And then this would
The
be
calculation is
500. So for Abuja, Nigeria, it's 1.5 million. I don't know how it's so high. That's what it is. So your equity value in relationship to capital is 1.5 million for every 4 years for full time.
for individual.
Yeah, I mean that's what the calculation